Catflap Chats,
Sweet, man.
episode 71. We're recording this on Easter Sunday, but it's out tomorrow, so really appreciate your time.
Cool. No worries.
Firstly, just a quick for everyone, bit of housekeeping. Big thanks to everyone who goes to Catflap Chats. Have a look at our sponsors, our hats. You can find all of our back catalogue of podcasts where you can find all the other amazing guests we've had before. Check out our Instagram TV with JBG Group, who sponsor those in the mornings. Enough of all that. I'm delighted to have, if I don't say this right, you're allowed to slap me when I see you. Uilisi, Willis, Halaholo.
Yeah. Willis.
Uilisi.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like that, pal.
Oh, the U is pronounced as a W, so.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's awesome. So, hey, look, thanks for coming on, pal. What's news? What's going on?
Nah, not much. Easter weekend. Enjoying the weather at the moment. So, still a little bit chilly for me, but not much. Just hanging out with the family and resting up. So, yeah.
It's been, obviously, like I said, it's been a whirlwind few months, obviously, off the back of Friday's result as well. I watched it and it was sick at the end because you won it, you lost it, then you won it, and then obviously lost again. Like, how the boys feeling?
Yeah, I don't know how many more of those type of games I can take. I mean that game against France could probably last me another 2 years of disappointment. But yeah, I think that's just the way it goes. Rugby's you got to take the lows with the highs. So yeah, hopefully we can just learn from it and come back stronger.
Do you take those personally? Do they hit you? Are you one of those people where the highs really sort of take you away and then the lows really get you down, or do you just kind of take it in your stride?
I do get down. I hate losing. Yeah, I do take it personally, but when I come back home, I just see my kids and all that, and I got to switch it off, whilst I end up taking it out on them, or I've really got to change my mood and get into dad mode, instead of just being grumpy and thinking about little moments in the game or things I could have done better. I just got to take my mind away and really give the girls attention. So.
How, like, for people listening, like we obviously know a lot of the same people, but we don't really know each other that well. So I'll be fascinated to get into a bit of your mindset and how you kind of operate as a person away from rugby as much as on the field. I know obviously you've got, like we said, you've got 4 kids, amazing family. Like, how good is it to have that away from the pressures of professional rugby? Because the highs are great, but the lows do hit you hard. Like, how good is it to have something that you can come back to and go, rugby, actually, it is a job. It's not life or death. It doesn't matter as much as some things, to take your mind off it all. Yeah,
it's great. I find it really, really helpful for me lately, especially as I was starting to mature as a player. Putting things into perspective and also I'm able to get over a loss a lot quicker. Just to be able to park it up and just focus on my family time. But it's really helpful. It helps me get out of that slump. Like I could be in a mood for weeks if I didn't have these girls. I could, like I said, from that France game for Wales, I could have been like in that slump for weeks, even up till now. But I came home and it took a couple of days, and my kids make me laugh, and just they don't really care about winning or losing. They just want daddy home and want dad to give them their full attention. So yeah.
What has the last few weeks been like for you then, pal? Because for people who might not know, you got called up back in 2019, obviously suffered a horrendous ACL injury and that robbed you of your first cap back then. It's been a bit of a whirlwind, or should we say 6-7 weeks with being called up again. And I know a lot's been written and shown about how much your family have embraced Wales, the Welsh, the way of life, and your family back in New Zealand as well. Yeah. How would you sum up the last couple of months?
I would say it's been Been busy, been really, really busy, but like I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Like truly like grateful just to just to be a part of that environment. It's been a long time coming, and especially with my injury back in 2019, I literally like pretty much like was starting to think that it wasn't going to happen. Given my age, you don't get many people like debuting internationally at the age of 30. So, I was really starting to think if these legs were gonna actually try and keep up with some of these young boys running around at international level. You've got your older boys that are playing, your Alan Wynne-Jones and your Ken Owens, but they've been playing at that level since 10 years plus. So, it would have been something new for me. So, just throughout that rehab process, I was just like, I don't know if this is going to happen or not. But, the last 6-7 weeks have been great. Every day I've just been, just wake up grateful just to be there with those boys.
When you get into camp, like you've had quite a colourful career in terms of Super Rugby ITM coming over here, and you've won stuff with the Blues as well. When you get into camp, are you one of those people that, I suppose, not coming from Wales, maybe you like someone who grew up in Wales may have looked up to Alan Wynne-Jones as a kid, and he's still playing now, might be a bit in awe. Were you like that, or did you feel like you deserved to be there because of previous performances and playing with 10, 12 of those boys week in, week out?
I'm not too sure. When I went into camp, I wasn't worried about, like, I wasn't really worried about the rugby side of things. Like for me, I like to build strong relationships and get along with people. So I was more about hoping that the boys, liked me, and like I was just willing to put my best foot forward, not only on the field but off the field. Just try and get along with boys and build relationships with them, and not, coming from another country, I didn't want to like make it look like I deserve to be there. Like I just wanted to make sure that I'm there putting in the work just like them. And they've been great as well. Like when I went in, I just felt real comfortable. They made me feel really welcome. So yeah.
What was that build up to that sort of first game? Like obviously you missed the Ireland game, and then there was a bit of a backlash when you got called up. And I think there might have been, correct me if I'm wrong, there might have been back in 2019 when you were first selected around, I think you were quite vocal on Twitter around, I don't know if it was racial, but definitely some backlash around you getting picked. And then on the flip side, tons of people then changed their profile pictures to Willis Halaholo. Like, what's that? Because that's a roller coaster of emotion in itself. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I think when I was vocal back in 2019, I think it was just the emotions were running high, like disappointment of not being able to, get the opportunity. So I probably just took it out on those people that thought I didn't deserve to be there. Even though I qualified the same way as other players from New Zealand. I just felt like there was a bit more of an uproar when I qualified, but I don't know. I guess having that injury, it gave me time to just not worry about those type of things, and know that there are plenty more people in Wales that support me, especially all the supporters from the Blues, and that's all that matters. That I just put my best foot forward for them, and show that what it means to me. So it's been good. That week was cool. Like seeing all those Twitter accounts and whatnot with my actual profile picture on them. At first I had to look and see, like, someone might be like making a fake page of me, one of those pages, but
catfishing, like.
Yeah, but then I saw a tweet that someone came up with that idea, and everyone just bought into it. So just that played a big part in me going out there on my debut and just backing myself. With all that support behind me, it just gave me confidence.
And what was it like for you physically on the pitch, the anthems are going. What type of person are you in the build up to that? Are you nervous before big games? I would imagine that's probably the biggest games that you've played. I know you've played in finals, you've won Super Rugby, but was that the biggest for you? And what's the nerves like? What's the bottom lip like? Are you getting teary?
Like the boys that know me, even like some guys from the team, from the Wales team, like, you know, getting to know me for the first time, they find that I'm quite relaxed. I can't really get too hyped until that whistle goes. Like I could just stroll out there and kick the ball around and have a bit of fun, have a smile, chat with boys and that. But like that's just the way I prepare. Then you know, when the anthem was going, you know, just a bit emotional, you know, like just thinking about the journey, you know, and getting here, and the reason why I play, you know, as some people may know, I've got 2 Welsh-born daughters. So you know, I play for them. This is their country that they were born in. So quite emotional. You know, just like I said, the journey, and finally, you know, getting here and listening to the anthem. You know, I just wish there was a bit of a crowd. You know, just to top it off. But you know, hopefully, I get an opportunity with that.
Have you been in the stadium during the Wales game when the crowd's been in there and it's been full?
Yeah, I've been to 2 games. Yeah, 2 games.
Yeah.
When Wales won the Grand Slam in 2019.
Oh yeah.
I watched the Ireland game. Yeah. The atmosphere is crazy. So
best stadium in the world. I'm not Welsh. I'm English, but it's best stadium in the world by miles.
Yeah, I love it. Like just being there. You know, my first time playing in there was Judgment Day back in 2016, I think 17. And just that atmosphere alone was enough for me to want to, you know, get involved in the red jersey and play in front of a packed stadium like that.
You mentioned just on the Wales thing there, you've obviously mentioned that France game, and then they lost to Scotland, so you've still won the championship. Like, how does that make you feel? Because it must, I would imagine, bittersweet that you fell at Wales's final hurdle, but then actually you'd still won because Scotland did you a favour. Like, how was that feeling? Because you can't celebrate like you would have if you'd won it on that last weekend.
Yeah, I'll be honest, the French game was a tough one to take. Especially, I think, like, my wife said this is the first time she had ever seen me like this. You know, the next few days when I came home, I was just miserable. Like, you start to sort of replay moments in your head, things you could have done better, or especially, you know, us boys on the bench, you know, we meant to come on and make a difference and see out games, but just felt like we didn't quite do that and probably let the boys down a bit. That's what we start to think, you know, mentally we just start to think that way. And you know, we're pretty down for that, pretty much that whole week. But you know, to come the following week and Scotland do us a favour like that, and then we won the championship, you know, so it was good to end on that feeling, you know, instead of still feeling gutted from losing like that. So it was good to see the boys again and grab our medals and, you know, actually lift the trophy with the skipper, and it's a good feeling.
I feel like, you know, after the last year of people moaning Pivek out, and Twitter's the worst for it, as you've experienced. Pivek out, Wales are crap, Gatland's amazing. This last year has been dog shit, essentially.
Yeah,
I feel like they are building something, and you are building something going in the right places. You've got real good experience. You've got great youngsters coming through. Like, it's amazing. Someone like Jared, who you play with week in, week out, isn't getting game time at Wales. Yet he is unbelievable. Like, that's the strength and depth they've got. And come the World Cup now, I don't know what the plans, you know, I don't know how far in advance you guys look, but it feels like you could really go on a streak of successful autumn campaigns and Six Nations for the next few years leading into that World Cup. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, like, you know, it was always going to take time, you know, with a whole new staff, new management group, new coaching staff. You know, when you've been stuck under one coach for, you know, how many years it was, you know, it's always going to be tough to transition to another new way of thinking, new way of playing. But I feel like this past Six Nations, the boys have done really well. Like I'm pretty sure that the public or whoever would have been happy with us coming third or second. Would have been a pass mark from where the boys were, 12 months ago. But to come first, to win the championship was a real bonus and a real positive leading into the next couple of years. Hopefully, I can get another opportunity to be a part of it. But you've got some real leaders in there, and also some young talent coming through. If they can find that right, balance and build a new culture under Wayne, could be some special times.
You knew Wayne from before, didn't you? Wasn't he at Auckland when you were in the ITM?
Yeah. So I was, when I had finally decided to give up being a bad boy, and give rugby another go, I decided to, just drop everything and give rugby another go. And I thought I was playing well, club rugby in Auckland, and did enough to get called into the Auckland training group just to train with the boys and whatnot. And I guess Wayne probably already had his senses set. He had, well, to be fair, he had a couple All Blacks there, and he had his son Parksy there. So, but to be fair, he was the man too. So, it probably just wasn't meant to be. And, that's what I'm happy, you don't burn bridges, you just respectfully go to him. And I just told him, I've got a young family and I've got to take my talent elsewhere. And he was happy with that. And I think he's just happy to see how much I've changed. He's just, even when I've had a one-on-one chat with him, he's still surprised at how much I've changed, and can't believe this is the same me from 8 years ago. So it's just funny how things come full circle, and we're back working together, and this time he's given me the chance. So
I love that about rugby. Like, it is a journey, and your journey has been colourful at times, I know. But the fact you're able to come full circle now, and it's almost like you've achieved that without realising that was going to be not the end destination, but that was going to be the destination. It's funny how it all comes back together. Like, did the other Welsh lads I've spoken to, they've all had to do like a sing song on initiation. Did you have to do anything?
Yeah, just after my debut, just had to do a little song. I just went off the old classic Bob Marley. Three Little Birds, or whatever it's called. But I was actually quite lucky. Literally, I had already planned it, so I had already gone around to like the boys that I was close with or comfortable with, and I had told them like 3-4 words, and you start singing with me. So like I said, like I didn't realize, like, when you get your cap presented, that the boys they just go straight into the song. But for me, I couldn't do that. I had to say a little something and thank the boys and stuff like that. So I think some of the boys, Jared and that, told me that it was good that I did that the boys respected that. And then I went into my song, but I told the boys when I did my speech that I was more nervous about the song than bloody debuting. Like rugby is where I strive and have fun. But getting up and having to sing a song is not me unless I've had about 12 pints. So
it is nerve-wracking. A few of the boys have said that when they've had to do theirs. There's been some good ones. I'd love to who obviously with the Blues you get to know, and the Blues provide 10, 12, 13 of the boys to the Welsh squad. You get to know them. You knew them really well. Was there anyone in that squad that you were not pleasantly surprised, but you really got on with, that you'd never spoken to before or spent much time with? Like, was there anyone that you sort of clicked with straight away and went, you're a good guy, like, glad to got to know you better?
There were a few. Like, I sort of made my way up. Like, I started with the boys that I work closely with, so the centres. I was hanging out with Owen Watkin and Johnny Williams and Nick
Yeah.
Tompkins, and just try to get along with them and just see how they operate day to day, and just made my way around the back line, and I try to spread it out and just try and get to know. I didn't want to be a snob type of person. That's just not the way I am. I like to get to know everyone, and then there was the hard part, trying to crack jokes and chat with the older Ken Owens and Alan Wynne Jones, and it's more of those senior type forwards.
Yeah.
But I was quite surprised. They're cool, man. They were like, real chill, like the opposite from what you see on TV. You see passion and just the grunt, and but off the field, real good guys. They're fathers as well, so we can share a bond there. And like I got along with most of them. Like Sanjay is a good funny character.
Top bloke.
Yeah, he like him, just being funny and stuff just made me feel welcome, and just even Biggs, real good guy off the field. He's just all, he's just passionate and emotional and all that on the field, but off the field, a real great guy, and made me feel real welcome. So yeah, it was good.
I'd love to, if you don't mind, I'd love to go back to the beginning a bit more. You mentioned about being a bit of a bad boy there, and my family live in Auckland at the moment. They live on the North Shore by Takapuna. So I've been over a couple of times, and I like it over there. It's cool, but I do know that
nice and safe over there, boy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like over there, it's all right. Get the ferry across. You're in your own little place then on the beaches, like.
Yeah.
But Nick Williams was on here before, and it's very stereotypical. But if you've seen Once Were Warriors, you kind of get a feel for what South Auckland might have been and what Auckland can be. Sort the girls out if you got it, bro.
Sorry, bro.
No, it's all right, mate. You carry on.
Sorry, bro. She's gone.
That's all right, pal. Don't worry about it. Like, anyway, I've been doing this for a year with work in my day-to-day job for Capital FM, and like my daughter will just fly in. Daddy, what's this for maths? I'm like,
yeah,
I'm busy. 2 seconds. I've got to do it.
Literally, like since I've gone into Six Nations, my daughters, they freak out if I go missing. Like,
yeah,
they don't like me going for long periods of time. So if they hear like the door open or the keys ringing, they're like, "Where's Dad going? Where's Dad going? Follow him." So like, that's class. Still here. So
I love that about. I was just saying, my family are obviously in New Zealand, and I kind of get like, I understand a little bit about how much family does mean to people from the not only the Southern Hemisphere but from the islands as well. And you've obviously got Tongan heritage. Like, what was life like growing up in New Zealand? Because on the pitch, you were part of a talented school team, and you played for New Zealand schools with current and former All Blacks, and you've done some pretty cool stuff. But I know off the pitch, you mentioned you were a bit of a bad boy and things weren't going right. What was it like growing up in Auckland?
I mean, my parents did everything they could to, just keep us on that straight and narrow. Because they knew what it was like out there on the streets and in the neighborhood. But as when you start to get to a certain age and you start to think on your own, and think you can think on your own and think you know it all, you start to make your own decisions and start to do things that you think that is the right thing, but at the end of the day, you always end up running back to mum and dad. So just growing up, big family, really big family. My dad's one of 12.
Okay.
So always hanging out with my cousins like pretty much every weekend. It's just, they were like my brothers and sisters. So that was just life growing up, like always hanging out with them. So as they started to get older and start to do things, you start to see, what is this like, or what is that like? You just start to look at older cousins and think, let me follow this or do that. No matter how much my mum and dad try and just get me focused on school and rugby.
Yeah.
But you know, I got to a certain age, 17. I got my wife, my girlfriend at the time, pregnant, which is my wife now. So
yeah,
she got pregnant. I met her, and I moved to her school. I was at another school, and I got released from. I'll say released. I got released from that school, and so I went to another school, and it was actually probably a better move for me rugby wise.
Yeah.
And I met her there at around like May.
Yeah.
And then by the end of that year, December, she was pregnant. So yeah, that's where sort of that's probably sort of where it turned for me. Like I probably just the having to think about being a dad. I just probably stopped thinking about rugby, thinking about school. I didn't even think about being a dad. I was thinking about just not wanting to be a dad and just want to do me and live life before I, get locked down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I was just, doing my thing, and like my missus sort of saw a pattern that I would be home from Monday to Thursday, and I would be missing from Thursday to Sunday. So yeah, that was ongoing every week. That was after high school, my first year out of high school, and it just sort of went down a path. I still made the Auckland Academy at the time.
Yeah.
And like I'd turn up drunk. I'd go straight from town to training, and like sometimes you had people that would like, not trainers, but they're like liaisons, like they had try and help you out off the field.
Yeah.
They would help me out. They would like sneak me out and put me to bed somewhere in the changing room. Little things like that. And they know who they are. They really helped me out big time. Just they understood what struggles I was going through. But eventually got kicked out of there and was just sort of living a bum life, I guess. Me and my boys would we would like actually just go around, like say it was my turn. Oh, can you see me?
Yeah, it's fine.
Sorry. Say it was my turn. Would go like, I'll say, oh, I got my auntie. Let's go to my auntie's house. We'll go to my auntie. I'm like, auntie, you got $20? You got $20? Just give me $20, and then we'll go and like, I don't know, whatever we'll spend it on to get a high, whether it's alcohol or drugs or whatever. And then we'll actually go to like Auckland University with a bag and just sit around looking like students, but really we're like looking for the uni parties and all that just to go to. So just little things like that we got up to, and then I got to a stage where I guess I started to think about providing and making money, and I just didn't have a job. So I don't know. There are other ways or forms of making that money, if you understand me.
Yeah, of course.
So I had to take, even my closest family and friends don't even know that, but I'm open now. Like I've got out of that, but even my closest family and friends don't even know that I was doing a bit of that stuff, because I didn't want anyone knowing. I just wanted to provide for my family and whatnot. So I was doing a bit of that, and I was working as well at the same time. Just my club manager owned a machinery company that they hire out diggers and bulldozers, and he just gave me a job, and he was flexible with whether I come to work or not. He was cool. He was laid back, and I'm just happy that I've actually made it so that he knows it was worth it, that he was giving me time off, and he was actually helping me out, giving me gym memberships and protein powder and all that type of stuff. But yeah, it was a bit of a, like, from the age of 18 to about 22. I was just living a life that could have sort of led to, I don't know, destruction, I guess.
I do understand. Like, I've never really told anyone my story. I mean, I'm not going to now, but when I had my little girl, when I found out it wasn't planned and I wasn't with the mum, and I went downhill fast in a few different things because I think I was scared about becoming a dad. I didn't have any family here. They're all, like I said, they're all away. I would get hit with the lows very easily, and I did lots of stupid stuff. So I completely get it. And then almost I felt like I'm too proud to ask for help.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until she was born and I had to make a difference and I had to do something about it. Yeah. And a few people helped pull me out of that. So I do completely get that. Yeah. Whilst we don't try and be bad people, sometimes we just don't see what's actually going on because we're in our own bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
It is tough, man. It's completely tough. Like you obviously you've turned it around. You're still with your wife now. Like I've got nothing but having been what I've been through and understand a bit more about you. I've got nothing but respect for that and the fact you've now got 4 amazing daughters and you're making that life. So if anyone ever says anything to you about that, you should be proud that you've managed to go through that and come back.
Yeah. Hey, look, like I don't have any respect for boys that have partners that have been there when you're low and then all of a sudden you've made it or you're high and then you get rid of them. She was there when I had nothing, and still was supportive when I had nothing. Still was encouraging when I told myself, well, I'll give rugby up and go work. But she would always tell me, if that's what you really want, just go for it. We can just grind it out together. So, we, like you say, we take the lows and go through the highs together as well. So, yeah.
Class, mate. I love it. One of your clubs, because you played Tonga under 20s, didn't you? But you also played a bit of club rugby. Silverdale's one of the clubs. And the only reason I know Silverdale is because they played for North Auckland, played against North Auckland.
Yeah.
And I played for them when I went out to New Zealand for the first time.
Right.
And I played against Silverdale. I was on the bench for the first, and Luke McAllister was playing 10.
Ah, okay.
But I was 20 at the time, and I'm carrying a bit of weight as you've seen, and mate, I got smashed about. I should not have been there one fucking bit. It was hard.
When I went there, so Luke McAllister's dad was our coach.
Yeah.
Up at Silverdale, but he was my high school coach as well.
Okay.
So I felt like I needed to get out of Auckland and try something new.
Yeah.
So I went over there, but I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I was living up there in Silverdale, but during the week, I always found my way back to Auckland. I always found my way back to the boys and all that. So I was just like, let's just stop wasting petrol and come back home. So yeah, I came back to Auckland and went to my home club, Suburbs Rugby Club, and kicked on from there. Yeah.
You went down to Southland then, didn't you, in the ITM Cup? How did that come about? And a couple of years there, and then into the big league with the Hurricanes.
Look, like I said, I thought I was playing well enough at club rugby for Auckland when Wayne was coaching.
Yeah.
I was making a bit of noise. I was actually the captain of our club team at the time, and we weren't a very good team. Like our history wasn't very great, but that year, we're upsetting a few teams, which made a bit of noise, and as the captain, people start to look at you and scouters and from other regions and whatnot. But one of my Auckland age grade high school coaches, Mark Ozich, he was backs coach down at Southland. So and I had like 4 or 5 boys from Auckland that I knew that went down to Southland to play there as well. So the head coach just asked around, and so that backs coach Mark came up and said, look, we've got an opportunity if you want to take it. We'll give you a week to decide whether you want to come or not. That's when I went back to Wayne and said, look, I need a contract now, or so I got to go. Like I got to look at, this might be my only window to get on the big stage. And he was like, I really don't want you to go, but I can't give you a contract at this very moment. And you wait a couple of weeks. So he knows what was happening with his All Blacks boys, whether they were getting released or whatnot.
Yeah.
I just had to be honest and said, oh, I can't, like, I've got a little family, I got to go. So, I packed up my bags and I moved to Southland by myself. I left the family in Auckland, just so I could go and see what I could do. And I actually ended up, I had nowhere to stay. They couldn't find me anywhere to stay, but they found a house which already had 3 players in it.
Yeah.
It was a 3-bedroom house. So I ended up like living on the couch at their house.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. So I had my suitcase and everything in the couch. Just, no room, no nothing. But, I was used to it. I used to live in a garage and whatnot. Me and my little family lived in the basement of my in-laws' house. So it wasn't nothing to me. I knew I was focused on a job, and I knew I was just going to go down there and try and carve up and hopefully get a place on my own and bring the family down. So yeah, like when I think back now, those little things, like sleeping on the couch for my first professional team, it just makes it all worth it, and know that, I had to grind it out and get here. So,
and that's that sacrifice that I would imagine not many people have to go through. Like a lot of the lads that I know have been fortunate where they've not had to go through some of those things. They've either come through academies onto first team or whatever that might be. So fair fucks to you, pal, because that's not an easy route into professional. And you weren't even, what were you? You must have been 23, maybe 22 at the time.
Yeah, I was 23. Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was. I wouldn't say embarrassing. Like, I don't know. It was awkward at the time because, like, I was 23, but I was the oldest in that household. Like, these were like academy players, and like I'm good friends with them now. But they were like, I don't. Maybe they were like 20 or 19, 20, and they all had their own bedroom each. And I'm here, old man, with a kid, like not old man, but older than them, with a child. Yeah. I'm a father, and I'm here sleeping on their couch. So yeah, that's all good. That's part of the grind.
I love the fact you're saying it like with a smile on your face, like it doesn't define you, but it's giving you that step up you needed to appreciate the important things in life.
Like I knew I was just there to do a job, and look, like I did my talking on the field, and slowly it's like more and more I played, like the more and more the boys started to move into the lounge.
Class. After a couple of seasons there, you've obviously got picked up then with the Hurricanes, and I looked at the 2015 squad. Like, obviously, I've never played pro rugby. I was rubbish, but I used to watch Super Rugby and be like, I could do that. And then I looked at the squad the other day. You had man on urn, obviously Conrad Smith, Dane Coles, Ben Franks, both surveyors, Brad Shields, Bay Thompson, Victor Vito, Perinara, Bowden Barrett, Corey Jane, Nehe Milner Scudder, who I absolutely fucking loved.
Yeah.
Like, how did you take that in your stride, going from club footy into ITM and doing well in the ITM, but straight into that Super Rugby where did they lose the final that year?
Yeah.
But they were up there like one of the best teams in the league, and then you've just kind of walked into the squad and you're training with them every day. Like, did you feel the pressure? Did you feel the difference in step up, or did you just take it in your stride and just learn as much as possible?
Like if the Hurricanes boys are listening to this, they'll really remember how bad I was physically, like literally, like at ITM level and at club level, your talent and your gift can get you over that hurdle. Like can you can blend in, but at Super Rugby level, you get found out pretty quick. And no matter how much of a gifted rugby player I was, the intensity and the speed of everything, I just wasn't keeping up. And that first preseason was probably the toughest preseason I've ever done. Like there's this thing at end of preseason before Christmas, called Surf to Peak, where you got a bike, do a long bike, and then you run up Mount Vic right to the top.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen it.
Yeah. So I ended up quitting. Like I just sat halfway up Mount Vic, and everyone was waiting at the top for me. I couldn't move. Like I couldn't go anymore. Like I was cramping everywhere. And so our backs coach and Ray Lilo.
Yeah.
They ended up coming down looking for me. And I was just sitting there enjoying the view. I was like, I'm done. I can't walk. And so I had to like had one arm each, and they were like carrying me out. And like it's so embarrassing, you come out of the bushes and like everyone's just standing there waiting at the top for you. They're just like, oh man.
Well, did they do anything or say anything?
They were just like, hey. They're just clapping me on, and I'm just like, man, this is the most embarrassing thing. But it was all good, man. Like there's a reason why I chose, because I had a couple other offers, like the Blues and the Highlanders. I definitely knew I couldn't go to the Blues. Like I definitely like knew discipline wise I couldn't go back to Auckland. I couldn't go back home. I knew I'd just throw it all away. Like I'm just too comfortable there. Like I know too many people.
It's temptation.
I'm one of those guys, I can't say no. Like especially to my boys. Like if I say no, they'll be like, oh, this guy, what a big time.
He's changed.
You've changed. You've forgotten us.
Yeah.
And so the main reason I decided to go to the Canes was to learn of Mata and Conrad. Like I knew I wasn't going to get game time. I definitely knew I wasn't going to get any game time. But I just knew that the experience of learning off what I think is the best midfield combo in world rugby at the time was a once in a lifetime opportunity. So me and my mate Ray Lilo had to hold tackle bags for a good 7-8 months.
Did you know him from before that?
Who, Ray?
Yeah.
No. We had played at each other in ITM Cup a couple of times, but we didn't really have a personal relationship until then. And we really built a real relationship, holding bags and making coffees for Mata and Conrad. So
team bin juice, like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's class to be able to learn off those guys, and like obviously, like you said, the first year the Canes lost in the fight. Like, how good, by the way, just with that aside, how good is Wellington as a city? I absolutely fucking loved it.
Yeah, one of my favorites. Like even up to now, like we're still deciding like if we do move back to New Zealand, like we might look to settle in Wellington. Like we loved it there. Like it's still got a city feel, but not as busy as Auckland. Like Auckland's really busy, and I hate traffic. Wellington's nice. Wellington's a good city.
Well, there was a Thai restaurant in Wellington. I can't remember. There was an Alice in Wonderland bar where the menu was like the Alice in Wonderland story, and I remember getting fucked up in there. But there was a Thai restaurant called the Monsoon Poon, and they had plates on the wall of all the famous Beckham and all these famous people. And if someone hit the gong, that everyone in the bar at that time they would have to buy him shots and stuff, and people were doing it. And I was like, how much is that? It was like a couple of grand at a time to like buy everyone drinks. I was like, fuck, am I doing that?
Wow.
best restaurant I've ever had, like best Thai I've ever had. That was unbelievable. I fucking loved it down there.
Yeah.
That first year, you were obviously holding the bags, got to the final, but didn't quite make it. The second year, you pretty much started most games and played most games. Like, what was the difference? And you guys won it the second year.
Yeah, I think because we had a few hiccups on the way that second year. I think what happened in the first year was it was just too perfect. They didn't lose a game until that final.
Yeah.
So they had won every game and lost that final. And then the second year we had a few, hiccups on the way, and few few boys that caused like a bit of what should I say, like, broke a few rules and stuff. We had a few things, setbacks during that season, but it sort of made us a bit stronger and come together. And I think we really learned from that year before on how to win those big pressure games like that. And yeah, I was grateful to be a part of the team. I think I wasn't starting from the beginning. It was old mate Ngani Laumape.
Oh yeah.
He came straight from league and straight in there, but he was a raw talent. He was still, I felt for him, but he was still learning the game a bit, and but he did well. He did really well, and like I said, I was just there to do my bit to help the boys play well and do good. And then he picked up a bit of an injury halfway through the season, and I took my opportunity and didn't let go. So yeah, I was just happy to be a part of that and be a part of the team, that the Hurricanes team that had won Super Rugby for the first time ever. So yeah.
What were the emotions like after that? Because you started 12 in that final 2 years before. You were sleeping on a sofa to try and get a professional contract. Like, what were the emotions like after that?
It was crazy. Like, I was just so proud, especially being able to fly my family from Auckland down to Wellington. We all stayed in my apartment, my little 2-bedroom apartment, and there was like 20 of us all in there. They're all just camping in the lounge, and my parents and my brothers and sisters and their kids, and I was just proud just to walk on stage and for them to be on the field sideline and witness that, and just to see the happiness and smiles on my parents' faces really meant a lot. So yeah, awesome moment.
After that, or even at that point, like, you've just played 12 in Super Rugby final. Did you ever get, because you played for Tonga 20s, but obviously you were born in, I'm right in saying you were born in Auckland, weren't you?
Yeah.
Did you ever get much contact from Tonga or New Zealand at an international level?
Yeah, I got a bit of contact from Tonga a couple times. I think it was just like, there were a few times I was close to playing for Tonga. I think it was just the timing of it all. It is quite hard to leave your family and go and play international rugby at the time. And it was like I said, just the timing of it all. I couldn't leave my wife and kids. My daughter, my wife just had our second daughter at the time, and it was just too hard to leave for months at a time. So it just didn't come about. And then, but before we had won that final, I had already signed with Cardiff.
Yeah.
And a part of that deal was the residency deal. Like, I had to come and do the 3 years that was pretty much the only way I could sign with Cardiff, as if I signed on residency to be qualified for Wales. So which is fair enough. Whilst I'm probably just blocking another Welsh qualified player, so why not have me come and qualify? So the main thing was asking my parents for their blessing if it was okay if I went and represented Wales, and tried to and pursue that, and they were happy, even though my old man probably wanted me to play for Tonga, but at the end of the day they just wanted me to be happy and succeed at the top level. So I just took it, and here we are today.
Why Cardiff then? There's 4 regions. There's loads of clubs in the UK and in Europe. Why here?
Well, I actually wasn't even looking. Danny Wilson was looking for a centre at the time. He asked Ray, and obviously Ray, because Ray was already here. He had left.
Okay. He came the year before, did he?
Yeah. So after the final we lost, he left with Ma and Conrad, and all of them left.
Yeah.
And he asked Ray, and Ray pretty much hit me up, because that year we lost the final. The last maybe the last 2 or 3 months, Ray lived with us.
Yeah.
Because he had signed off the Blues, he sent his wife and kids home to spend time with their family before they move over here to the UK.
Yeah.
So he moved in with me, and we sort of built a relationship there. So when Danny hit him up, he gave me a call and said, what do you think? And I said, yeah, well, I can talk to my agent. And so when my agent said it was a 3-year deal, I took it. But the main thing was just security for me.
Yeah.
So I don't ever since I had moved to Southland, I had been playing each year for a contract, just that
1 year at a time.
Yeah, I had been playing 1 year at a time. So when I went to the Hurricanes, there was only 1 year, and then they re-signed me again for another year. So I was I was starting to sort of not get sick of it, but I was just I just hated that pressure of not knowing what I was going to do next year, and being scared of getting a major injury and then being out of a contract. So when they came with that 3-year deal and residency deal, I was like, yep, let's take it, and let's just know that what our plan is for the 3 years, and I can just focus on the rugby.
The thing is with the residency deal, people who listen to this now going, well, he knew he was going to get a cap. Nothing's given. I suppose it's just a plan of, if you stay here for 3 years, there is an opportunity to potentially play for Wales. If the Blues want to re-sign you, if Wales want to play you, not if you do 3 years, you are guaranteed a cap. Because some people listening to this will go, well, that's not fucking fair. Well, it doesn't work like that, does it? You've still got to earn. You got to earn the Blues jersey, and then you've got to earn that Wales jersey.
Hello,
can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I was saying, people listening to that there might go, oh, well, he was given a residency. Like they talk, well, no, you got to earn the Blues jersey.
Yeah.
And the history that comes with that club and the people who've worn, those centre jerseys. You've then got to earn that Wales jersey, because there might be an up-and-coming youngster who might have been better or whatever, who would have got picked. Park, like you said, Parks, he was here. Jamie had kind of just finished with Wales, unfortunately for him. You had Foxy and a load of other people. It's not given. You've still got to earn that. But at least I suppose it gives you a target. Like you said, 3 years security, which you'd never had before in professional rugby. I would assume it sets most people up for a good way of life after rugby. If it came to an end, then it sets you up for a decent way of life after.
Yeah.
So nothing is given, even if you are told, if you do 3 years, you might get an opportunity to play for Wales.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't going to walk into it. That was definitely not my thinking or anyone's thinking that was involved in this process. It was just making sure it was beneficial for both sides, I guess.
Yeah.
Me, having maybe a goal at the end, and also just being comfortable to have 3 years and just focus on the rugby, but also, the union, not just benefiting from it as in I'm not just coming here to block a pathway of someone that could qualify and play for Wales. Why not use it as a way to, have someone that could, contribute to the team and to the nation. So, I thought it was a win-win, and I definitely knew that I wasn't going to walk in I was nervous, man. I was trying my best, the last 3-4 years just to put some performances together and put my hand up. But I just, and a lot of people, I'll just say it now, a lot of people think I'm here to just because of the money or whatever. But if they knew that I had already been offered big money deals the last 2 times I've re-signed with the Blues to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I've turned them down purely because I had a goal of playing for Wales, and I wanted to see that out. It's never been about the money. I've always had a goal of wanting to play international rugby. And to play at the highest level. And that's always been the case. If it was about the money, I would have been in the sun in France by now, by my pool. Something like that, or but You know, I knew that the money is not important to me. I just wanted to make sure that I retire, and I've ticked all the boxes. You know, I'm ticking that. I've sort of got a little ink on the tick of international rugby. You know, I've sort of got a long way to go, but you know, I just want to tick that box before I retire, and you know, go from there.
On that, Parksy came on here the other week. Was it 3 or 4 weeks ago now? And he took a look.
Sorry, can I grab my charger? Sorry, I just
don't want to. Go on. Yeah, you go on.
Almost done. Sorry, man.
No, it's fine, mate. Don't worry. All sorted, pal?
Yeah. Thank you.
Happy days. Hey, no, don't be daft. I was just saying that Parksy coming in, and he gave all he did for Wales for 3 years, 4 years playing for Wales, another 2 or 3 years before that playing for the Scarlets. And then when he went to Japan, he took a load of heat on social media from people who would call him a mercenary. Well, it's a job, and if I get offered to do the same job in a nicer part of the world, not nicer part of the world, a different part of the world for potentially more money, I'd go and do it. Like, why wouldn't you do it? And social media annoys me sometimes because people think it's almost like they're entitled to certain things, and it's not the real world. Like, it's a job which you happen to. It's obvious the passion for your family and to provide for them and to do well for the Blues and Wales. That's obvious, but at the end of the day, it's still a job. And one day the Blues might go, we're not going to re-sign, or one day Wales might go, we are going to pick someone else. Well, who then is in charge? You know, all these people on Twitter, then they're not going to pay your bills for the next 2 years. So why wouldn't you go to Japan or France or America or wherever to earn money to make a living? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, Parksy's done awesome for Wales. I feel like he's given his all. Like, he's really, like, you know, put his body on the line and really, you know, there's not much more. Well, I don't think he could have given any more than he did for the jersey. And you know, our careers aren't long, man, and we don't get to do this forever. So, you know, when you get opportunities to set up your family and whatnot, and like, you got to take it. Like, you know, when you have kids, man, it puts everything into perspective, man. Like, it's tough. Like,
it is. These people, I don't know, they're bored with their own lives, got nothing else to do. Just on that residency thing, before we finish up on Cardiff, Dan Leo obviously brought out that documentary a couple of months ago now. What's your thoughts around? I mean, you're obviously playing for Wales now, but what is your thoughts around that residency ball? And you know, should you, like, I don't know, someone like Charles Piutau, for example, with one cap for New Zealand, or a few other people like that. Like, would you're fortunate enough where you're hopefully in the squad now to come, but is it something that you would have liked to have done if you'd only got one cap and kind of gone again from either New Zealand, Tonga, or Wales?
Yeah, I would. I just feel like there should be a little bit of leniency, like some type of rule. Like, say if I've played a certain amount of caps for Wales, then you can't play for another nation, I guess, or or you can only go to a tier 2 nation. You know what I mean? Like,
don't they do that in rugby league?
Yeah, I think so.
If you don't get picked by your tier 1 nation, you can play for your tier 2 nation of birth.
Yeah. I just feel like it'll make the game better, or like, you know, it'll bring more of a spectacle instead of, you know, our poor island teams just getting smashed, you know, all the time, because they don't they don't have the resources, they don't have, you know, anything to use. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to sort of have a rule to, you know, let players like Charles that have only played one, or, you know, a couple of boys that have only played, you know, say under 5 caps, you know, why not let them go and play for a tier 2 nation? You know,
interesting.
I don't want to really speak on it, and you know, I don't want to be like a hypocrite or anything. I just you know, I don't want people to be like, oh, shut up, you chose Wales, blah blah blah. You know, like what they don't understand. So, you know, I gotta do what's best for me and my family. So.
Like that is the attitude, you know. Who pays your bills at the end of the day? You and your wife. So everyone else's opinion, apart from your families, is irrelevant. Your coaches, your teammates, your family. The rest is just noise, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's talk to me about Cardiff then, pal? You've had 4 or 5 years now. You've just re-signed for another couple of years or extra few years. Good win, obviously, in Europe a couple of years ago in Bilbao. Bit of a loose trip that was.
Very.
Yeah, I've spoken about it a few times now on here. Like, still up there with one of the best trips I've ever been on.
Yeah.
What is it about Cardiff? Because again, I feel like they are just on the cusp of something amazing. The youngsters that they've got coming through, mixed with some of the old heads like Turnbull, even, don't take this the wrong way, yourself, Ray, even someone like Josh Adams, who's mid-20s, but he just seems to have been around in England and here now for years. Like, there is something exciting to come from Cardiff, I feel, in the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, there definitely is. I just, how do I put this? I just feel like we need a bit of stability. You know, there's been so many disruptions. You know, I've only been here 4 or 5 years. You know, I feel like we're building something. You know, from Bilbao, and then, you know, we had to lose Danny and Jockey.
Yeah,
and we had then a whole new setup. You know, just like how Wayne and Stephen have taken over Wales. You know, they've had to start from the beginning and go again, even though it's the same core of players. You know, it's just a different culture, it's a different mindset.
Oh, you just froze a bit there. Can you hear me, pal?
You know, so it's just, you know, been a few different there. You know, there's still in the hello.
Hello, sorry, pal. Yeah, it just froze. You just froze then when you said just a different culture and a different mindset with the guys coming in.
Yeah, it's just you know, we've lost a lot of caps in the last 2-3 years, from Mellon to Smiler to Nick to Jared Hoyata to, you know, the list goes on, to Cuthie, to, you know, all those types of boys. You know, we lost a lot of experience. So when I say that, I'm saying, like, you know, we've had to start again in terms of our new culture, with the new coaching staff and all that, and then also having to find new leaders in the team.
Yeah,
you know, when you have guys like when you have guys like Jared and Thomas, and that having to be a bit more vocal and speak up a bit more at their young age, that just shows, you know, how young the team is and how much inexperience, I guess, we have. But in saying that, we do have an exciting team. You know, we've still got some old boys there, you know, like you said, the likes of Turnbull and Navs and all those boys. I guess we just need to find ourselves, fully find ourselves. You know, we've found the pieces. We've found a few pieces. It's just about putting it together, I guess, and completing the puzzle. You know, because, you know, like I said, we've had different coaching setups, and now Malvis is gone. We've got Diane, you know, and just they have different ways of coaching, different philosophies, different ways of wanting how they want us to play the game. And, you know, those little disruptions. But, you know, Dyer's come in, and I feel like he's done a good job. He's building good culture now. And I feel like if we can, you know, we can build and build a bit of depth as well, because, you know, it shows that we sort of tend to dip a bit when we lose our international boys. So hopefully we can, you know, not only we've got enough boys there to fill in those gaps. They just need a bit of game time. You know, it's been tough because of COVID, so they aren't, like, a lot of those boys have been training for the last how many months, but have hardly played. You know, there's nothing better than playing. There's no way of perfecting a game other than playing. So, you know, it's been tough on those boys. I feel for them, like a lot of those boys that just grind, but you know, hopefully they'll get rewarded with some game time soon. But I just feel like we need to put the pieces of the puzzle together and build a bit of depth, and we'll be on our way if we can get a few games winning on the bounce, 2-3 wins. I think it'll be hard to stop that train. Like
the lane train. And it's also good to have you know, like Ellis is like almost must be like a new signing coming back after almost a couple of years, or just was it 2 years out? Like the resilience, you know, and like you said, you know, the experience of some of the guys in that squad who are still under 26, 27 is class. So that can only be good moving forward.
Exactly. Like, you know, like I said, like those young boys that are speaking up now, you know, your Jarrett and Thomas and a lot of those young boys, they're really leading our team now at such a young age. You know, it's exciting times, you know, in a couple of years from now on. But like you said, Ellis, I think we really missed Ellis out there on Friday against the Irish. I think just his cool head and his ability to lead us and make the right decisions and whatnot was crucial. Because, you know, while I was at camp, you know, I was watching the boys play, and just watching Ellis is just class. He's just picking up where he left off a couple of years back, and it's just, and like when I was watching, I was like, man, can't wait to come back and play with him. So you know, I was gutted. You know, he picked up a little injury there, and you know, it was like, I could tell like we missed that leadership out there, just to make big moments. You know, in big games like that, you know, you need your guys like Ellis to step up. But you know, it's good learnings for the rest of the boys, and hopefully we can get everyone fit and on the field and see what we can do with the derbies coming up the end of the month.
Yeah, of course. So obviously talking about the future then, apart from trying your hand at boxing, which I've seen you've been having a bit of a crack at, like I've seen the videos, pal, a bit tasty on the pads there. Left right, good night.
That's all. That was just I just needed to get my mind right. You know, it just helps me release a bit of stress, but you know, like I was mentally thinking I was actually not gonna get back to my old self, my like in terms of my injury. So picking that up just sort of parked rugby aside for a bit, and actually made me, you know, freshen up my mind and think about different things. But nah, man, I'm no boxer, bro.
It's no addictive though.
It's different, bro. It's different to the street fights, man.
I lost them as well, so it didn't matter. I was rubbish at both.
Yeah, it's different to the street fights, man. You can't bite anyone in boxing. You might be losing it. I have to like bite someone. So,
mate, you know, Wales Online will pick up on that now, and there'll be a story out tomorrow. You watch.
That's all right, man. Because you don't take any losses, man. Do what you got to do on the streets.
You got to win the streets, pal. Win the streets. Hey, what does the future look like then? Do you allow yourself to look at things like the Lions, or is it just back to Cardiff, hopefully Wales again? Like, what's the mindset? Because Lions talk, Gatland always picks someone who's a bit left field. Have you even thought about that, or is that not come into it at all?
I've thought about it, but in a way where it's like, man, that would be cool to go on the tour. I thought about it as in like, oh, hopefully I can do enough. Like I haven't, like I can't think of it. Like I just feel like I need to tick the box with Wales first and just focus. Now I'm back on the Blues and just focus on the Blues and try and get some performances together. Like even like last Friday, probably could have played a bit better, you know. But in terms of the Lions, man, that would be cool. That would be cool. That's to go on that. Those type of trips are, you know, once in a lifetime things. You know, and I'd love to. You know, I'd love to go as a water boy. I didn't care, man. Come on, Gats, just pick me as a bloody water boy. I'll come and
tightening up the studs.
Yeah, easy, man, easy. Take me on those trips, man. I just want to be there. But nah, I haven't really thought about, you know, like playing towards that goal. I just feel like I've only just hit the scene international wise. So you know, I'm back with the Blues now and just put my head down and work on, you know, what I've been told by Wayne and Stephen and Melon, what I need to work on. So yeah.
Hey mate, thank you so much for coming on, pal.
No worries,
absolutely
man.
Loved it. Hopefully at some point we can get back down to the Arms Park.
Yeah, easy.
Watch a couple of games in person would be nice, and a couple of beers and catch up, pal. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Big thanks to everyone who subscribes, downloads, rates and reviews. Check out catflapchats.com where you can find all of our previous podcasts, our hats and our amazing sponsors. Check out our morning videos brought to you by JBG Group Electrical. Willis, mate, absolute pleasure. I feel like I've got to know you a whole lot better, not just on the field, but off the field. And it's been amazing to understand that full journey from a bit of an Auckland renegade into hopefully a real good role model for your 4 daughters and you know what you're building with your wife. So thank you so much, pal. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me, bro. Thank you for having me, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, and you, pal. Have a good weekend. We'll catch you soon.